Hello, everybody. I'm Paloma Elsesser, and this is my 7 days, 7 looks of my wacky little wardrobe. This is my going to set look. I have Chanel flats on the foot, which I secretly, or not so secretly, have amassed a very psychotic collection of them. I only like the very weird colors. Then I have just a classic Carhartt carpenter pant in a raw denim, nip the waist a little bit. But yeah, I've also been wearing Carhartts and Dickies and workwear pants for the majority of my life. I felt like I could never really find pants that fit me and were very like representative of my style. So I would just buy men's pants, nip the waist, keep it moving. Still do. And the Loewe bag that's filled with my artillery of tricks. I love a big, gorgeous luxury bag filled with Spanx, a nude skin color, brown colored bra and underwear. See how we got some more Spanx, some more Spanx, some more Spanx. You know, you gotta have options. You gotta have options. Sometimes I need to pop out, go to a meeting, so then I can throw on a little Manolo, get freaky, little star, very cute. And a wallet, you know the vibes. My best friend, Alexia, has a brand called Meow, which I have here. Growing up, I had no money to like get nicer things, but I always was pretty tomboy as well. So I remember when I first started making a little bit of money and I could buy myself something like a Chanel shoe, I found that I had reached like the Mecca one of adulthood and femininity. Okay, so this look is for, I guess, a little night of romance. I'm wearing Ugo Palan on my feet, a Caroline Vito skirt, Telfar, aka Telfizi to me, on the top. I'm deciding between this Amina Muaddi bag. I think I would go with this one, I'm feeling flirty. And then some mud pearl on the ear. I feel like I'm giving sexy, but a little freaky and not the horny way, just like strange. And I like that. I feel like that's a nice way to present yourself. I'm all about balance in an outfit. Obviously, I'm giving nouveau sexy with this, but I oftentimes will do this kind of like messed up knot tie for 2 reasons. The first reason is I like to accentuate the waist a little bit, give a little sliver of skin separation between the garments, but also because it gives a little texture to the outfit. I feel like this looks very like pulled together, and then I like in the back that it's a little bit messy. It shows, you know, that I'm nuanced. I love this outfit. I think it makes me feel very honest to where I'm at in my life. I think historically, I would have, as a younger person, as being, you know, chunky or whatever, I wouldn't have ordinarily worn this. I would have not have chosen something like this. But now, I think after I turned about 25, I started leaning into the more femme divinity within me, you know? And I think that this really imbues that. It's cool to show a little skin in a way that feels personally a little bit more authentic to me, which is like, it's not just breasts, which is also fab, or it's not just butt, but I feel like this part of my body, I want to accentuate, and it's a new way to do it. And I feel like it shows that I think critically about how I show my body. And I think that's cool. Sue me. Caution, we're moving to the next look. So this is my going to the bodega look, you know, easy breezy, beautiful, cozy girl. I have some Clarks on the feet. I have some vintage military like overpants. They have no real pockets, but they're my favorite pants. A Marni sweater, classic old Celine bag, shout out Phoebe, and an elder statesman hat. And obviously, I have to put my jewelry on just to go to the bodega, which are teeth and our Schiaparelli. I've been wearing Clarks for most of my life. I think it's funny because they used to be like church shoes kind of for people, but my dad grew up in the UK, surrounded by a lot of Jamaican influence, so that's kind of where it started. So this is just a staple in my household. My brother wears them, my dad wears them. They're a classic. I mean, obviously I wouldn't only go to the bodega in this, but I felt that when I moved to New York, I could really be myself in the shapes that I was wearing, that it didn't have to be like overtly sexy or overtly characterized as anything I could try to just be. And I feel that that was predominantly appreciated here. I didn't experience that in LA. So this is my bodega look, but I guess also just my regular New York. This is my dinner with the girls, kind of chill. I have a Church's loafer, beaten to filth. I have a vintage Dolce cargo pant, a vintage Dolce tank, Muhammad Ali, shout out the GOAT, a Bea Bangiaska ring. I'm actually gonna put on some earrings. I feel like I need the whole moment, you know, I feel a little naked on the ear. So then I also have, let me give her her moment, a Fendi croissant, not to be confused with a baguette. It's smaller. And some mud pearl necklaces. I am obsessed with this look. Honestly, out of all of the 7 days, this is the most Paloma what you're gonna get. Okay, so majority of this outfit are vintage pieces. I have always loved sourcing and looking for and digging for vintage. When I was younger, I used to go to Goodwills and red, white, and blues and whatever. And definitely, as a curvier girl, you don't always have access to all the things, especially the old archive pieces. But now I feel like I have such a rich investment in finding the things that work and really kind of give to an era that I feel like wish I was a part of. And it's sustainable, and I love the way that there's just different lives it lives, you know? I don't know how many other people have worn this. Some might think it's gross. I think it's rad. I call this my grown and sexy look. I'm wearing a Tabitha Ringwood shoe with a Caroline Vito pant, and then a archival Comme des Garçons top wrap piece of art, as some would say, and then another little piece of art from Autolinger in the form of a bag, and then a Ponconesi ring, and then some Ponconesi earrings. This top is incredible. I mean, I will say that trying to put it on is a task, but you know, nothing comes without great reward. Knowing my body and knowing how I like to dress, I can spot if something's gonna work. I mean, this was sitting on the walls like an architectural thing, and I was like, that's gonna work. It's gonna wrap around my body just right. It might need to be tailored a little bit, but overall, it was something that I needed to have. Splurging on really important vintage pieces should feel like I need to have that. I need to like live a life with that. Like I may not be that woman now, but I hope to be her. And so that's why she's in my grown and sexy look. I won't wear her every day, but when I want to give the Paloma yes that I am now, or the Paloma that I want to be and continue to be, I'm gonna reach for her. So that's why I got her. And that's the way that I like to shop. All right, so this is my vacation look. I'm wearing Bottega sandals, a Theophilio mesh dress, iconic CVFF participant, a collaboration with me and Doe Swim, a Dries Van Noten top, a Autolinger bag, and some Bottega glasses. Oh, and hoops from Canal Street, Chinatown. It's actually cool because making this bathing suit with Dose, which are like my two friends, Shay and Paula, who are also best friends, we kind of went into the process thinking about what's missing. For me, as a size 12, 14 person, what do I want in a bathing suit? Where it's like, I want cheekiness, but I want a little bit of coverage here, but not too much coverage. I'm down to give a belly button, you know, more support here, but like a cutout here. And it felt very cool to do that with my friends. It's my first collaboration, so I'm very proud of it. So what this outfit makes me feel is like rich and soulful. I think I like wearing oranges and reds and warm colors to kind of like go with my skin tone, the energy of where I'm at. I just like it to feel together so that I can go out into the world and feel really like strong and like I'm not worried because I feel like myself. All right, let's get into another look. So, this is what I call my event look. I could wear this to a fashion event, fashion dinner, a gallery opening, a moment where I'm just like, I want to show up and step out in a professional and cute way. So, I'm wearing Coperni shoes, a Timo Sasson custom look, a Stod bag, and then Bea Bangioska rings and earrings. I love this outfit so much. Timo stuff, he makes amazing stuff out of fleece and clearly leathers. I'm very pro supporting emerging designers and feeling like it's a collaboration. So I feel like he obviously understood the assignment with this, and yeah. I feel amazing in this outfit specifically because it honors shapes and proportions that I stick to throughout all of the ways I get dressed. I think for the majority of my whole life, I've worn a cute, body-hugging top and a baggy pant. You'll always find me in that. I probably will never give that up. So it's nice to play with it in different fabrics, like this is felt, this is leather, the different textured leather, but you know, the shape is still giving classic P. So that's everything I would wear in a week. Thank you for watching.